Stars, I'm a fool for your love.
Today, allow me to take you through the second-hand business in Kenya. In Swahili, it is called Mitumba. So, during the research, I realized that Kenya imports about 100 and above thousand tons of second-hand clothes in a year, providing government revenue from custom duties and creating tens of thousands of jobs. It also offers quality clothes in Kenya and even other parts of the world. So Kenya, shaded by a rugged square of canvas amid choking dust and noise of hawkers, shoppers in Nairobi, Gikomba Market can turn up a Tony Hilfiger jeans or Burberry jacket for a fraction of the price in London Regent Street. But there is a catch that I also realized, that the clothes are all second-hand and they are discarded as worthless at charity shops or thrift stores in Europe or in the United States. Well, they're being shipped in 1,000 miles to another continent, occasionally in search of pristine condition, that an original price tag is still attached. So at times when you get some of the products, or rather when you get some of the Mitumba, you get the price tag are still attached unto them. So not all of them are used, but some of them are just new, but the owners have just decided to give them out. So to the critics, the business raises the perennial problem of how Africa can build its own industry when it is flooded with cheap imports. But traders in Gikomba don't see it that way. So even me as an individual, I can't see it that way because it has also been part of my source of income. So there was this guy by the name Clement Shang. He once said, I quote, that it is source of employment, end of the quote. And this one is from the behind of a pile of second-hand trousers, and his specialty that includes British high street that makes like Topman and Next, and the sometimes more international well-known labels like Levi's and others. So even a person who's earning little at least can afford a piece of cheap clothing at a lower price instead of buying a new, with price ranging from 5 Kenyan shillings depending on the quality and the brand. So a lady by the name Regina described a sartorial challenge before the business took off 2 or 3 decades ago, when Kenyans depended more on expensive local products. However, there were new competition where the trade has grown in parts reflects the economic changes that have swept the continent. The Economic Liberation Program, backed by the World Bank and in the International Monetary Fund, started taking hold in Kenya and elsewhere. Tariffs were lowered and local factories had to contend with the new competition. Some industrialists say importing second-hand clothes known as Mitumba in Swahili undermines Kenyan-owned garment makers, and even the former presidential candidate, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, hinted that too.
We will introduce cotton growing in large numbers in our country. So many other parts of the country which cotton is the only available cash crop. Our textile industry was killed through liberalization. When then they brought Mitumba, our people are only wearing clothes coming from outside the country. You have been worn by people who are dead. We are going to go to primary production so that our people who are importing Mitumba can have good product to sell here. I'm saying that we are not moving anybody out of business. We will ensure that those who are importing Mitumba get the first hand to market goods which are going to be manufactured here. We will get the cotton, we'll gin it here, we'll spin it here, and we will make finished product here. And this will create again a very big source of employment for our youth in the country.
Rajiv Arora once said, I quote, that it hurts badly the domestic market. End of the quote. Rajiv is the executive director of the African Cotton and Textile Industry Federation. He added, 85% of Kenyan textile plants closed since the early 1990s, while cotton output was at the end of 1990s level. In the part of export business has grown because of trade pact between the United States and the Kenya as well as the African states, giving the duty-free access to the US market. And when it comes to hawking in Kenya, where the Kenyan City Council estimates that about 65,000 people work in Gikomba, Kenya's largest Mitumba market, with some people sharing stall or working on the different days of the week. In addition, there are a dozen or so smaller markets in Nairobi and other markets around the country, creating more employment. So, the question that I was asking myself, if you could have gone the way that the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga wanted us to go, I do not know where some other people could have gone to in terms to the employment in mitumba business.
Sisi kama usaji wa mtumba hapa Gikomba tunataka kujitetea juu hapa ndo tunakula, tunafanya kila kitu since 2017 2013 huko tujue hii biashara ndo tunakula, na hii biashara inalisha millions of people. Sasa ukiniambia hata mtu akikomba hapa hivi aache kuuza mtumba, atakula wapi? Hiyo ndo swali tunauliza, tutakula wapi sisi? Hao watu wote unaona hapa Gikomba hizi gari zote zinabeba watu wanaenda kuuza mtumba. Laila wakati anasema tunavaa nguo za mtumba, sisi hatusikii vizuri. Kama kiongozi tunataka kumchagua, lakini sasa anataka kutuharibia mahali tunatoa lishe.
Lakini jana kuna issue ilikuwa inasumbua mtaani sana, kana kwamba Laila amesema ati tunavaa nguo za maiti, lakini baadaye kuna vile aliongea akaleta kwa mwangaza. Alisema kana kwamba ili hali Kenya hii kuna kampuni ambazo zilikuwa zimeangamia na baadaye zikifufuliwa zinazapatia bado watu wetu kazi kama nje nyingine. Ziwe sasa tunategemea ati zile nguo za mtumba kila wakati. Kumaanisha kana kwamba yeye mwenyewe bado ana ficha ya inji yetu. Unaona, kuvumbua kampuni ambazo zilikuwa zimeangamia. Hao ndio maono yangu. Lakini sasa kwa maono yangu mimi mwenyewe kulingana vile alirudia baadaye. Sasa yeye mwenyewe ni yake kubwa si kuangamiza mitumba, lakini tuwe na another way of survival.
So the informal nature of much of the trade make it difficult to estimate and to be precise in the numbers though, but the researchers and the officials suggest that it may employ hundreds and thousands of people. Until the next time, if maybe you want something that you want us to talk about, please just comment it on the comment section so that we may talk about it. We are having different challenges in our country when it comes to jobs, so it is upon you to see where you can fit. But in mitumba business, this is where any person can get into, her or himself into at ease. So we find that you can even start the mitumba business even as cheap as even with 200 shillings and still grow and be a billionaire in this country. Until next time, I want to say thank you and continue tuning here because it's the home of the content. Until next time, I have to say bye.
Those doors, I'm a fool for your love.